on the deck of a luxury ship.
When the guests are dancing
To the tune of a song, a sudden serious accident occurs.
after a mysterious man pulls the lever,
A steel wire
immediately bursts out and cut across the hall. Cut all passengers in half. It's just a young girl named Katie.
is to escape death because it's lower than the rope. You've seen everyone else get killed right in front of my eyes.
In a horrifying scene.
45 after the heroine Mujin is a very strong girl. Have excellent swimming skills.
She and her partner are mother and doggy. We formed a search and rescue team
My job is to get money from the big guys,
and help them find the objects that were hit.
falling under the water, or even to salvage sunken ships.
After completing the task, her team returned to shore and celebrated the success.
In the meantime, Captain Muffy and his team are gathered around the table. Then Jack,
A member of the weather patrol showed up. He told me that last month he flew across the ocean.
I've seen an abandoned ship in a channel. So Jack wants to work with the team to get the ship back to shore. If the mission is successful, you only get 20%. Know that the ship is worth millions of dollars.
Captain Muffy and his team.
Do not hesitate to take the task.
Jack committed to go along to make sure the team finds the exact coordinates of the ship.
When the ship's operator,
Santos checks the radar,
he spotted a floating object 16 kilometers away.
so he informed the captain.
And Muffy,
That's the ship they're looking for. As the team's ship gets closer
Santa's speed reducer,
and use a spotlight to locate, they finally spotted the ship in front of them.
Santop folding brake. The doggy was standing outside.
Unfortunately, he was thrown into the sea. You're lucky you caught the rope. And Leo's back on deck. After the VA hit, Captain Muffy
Tried to contact any surviving air on board, and to Niagara, but received no response.
There seems to be no air on board.
Muffy getting out. This is a ship that was reported missing in May 21st, 1962. The strange thing is,
No distress calls were sent out. Antonia Race.
it simply disappears and is never found.
Because this ship has been searched for more than 45.
The team believes they're going to make a huge amount of money
From the rescue,
and start preparing to bring the ship back to shore.
they're exploring every corner of the ship. Muffy wants people to be careful, because 45 rust can turn the deck into a quicksand trap. During the investigation,
The whole team discovered,
all the lifeboats are gone.
and the emergency cabinets are empty.
Upon entering the main hall,
Muffy realized that something was wrong.
when Mother approaches a wall clock, it suddenly makes a squeak after the shock. The group continues to explore
And didn't realize that the pieces on the table moved by themselves.
to form a line. Welcome, Muffy said that. There were more than 600 passengers on board. They're all part of the European elite.
Up to the second floor, the mother leads the expedition.
Unfortunately, there was an accident.
As the floor falls beneath your feet, I saw the mother almost fall.
Your teammates pull you up.
Mujin suddenly sees a ghost. A little girl is looking at me.
After Muddin turned to look again,
I saw the girl disappear.
you continue your mission as if nothing.
What happened? But Muffy realized that there was something wrong with her.
Warwick and Mujin.
The captain decided to go with her and asked her to help find the ship's lock.
During the search,
Doggy discovered an electronic watch and suddenly realized that your team wasn't the first. Set foot on this abandoned ship.
there was no electronic clock in 1962. It was dark and the vision was poor.
He advised his fifth team to rest.
To prepare to tow the ship,
The next morning, when the group returns to their ship, Jin doesn't tell anyone about ghosts. The girl you saw.
but you can't stop thinking about it.
Jack realized she was worried, so he tried to question her. Mujin decided to talk about the girl that you saw on the deck. Jack assured her that I often have hallucinations when working long hours.
And Mujin, thank you for that comfort.
The next morning, Mujin, Windows and Doggy checked for structural damage of the ship and found a big hole in the hull.
It looks like the ship was hit by the VA recently.
And if it's not repaired, it will sink soon.
Before towing the ship back to shore, the team only had 3 days to plug the hole. Otherwise, the Niagara would be hit by ocean currents.
Into an archipelago of rocks. Winner goes to the engine room, while Mujin comes to an empty pool.
And found multiple bullet casings scattered under the tank. There are also countless traces left by bullets. Mujin quickly climbed the stairs to get the radio to report to the team, but suddenly Katie's ghost appeared. That startled her to fall. While Muffy explores the captain's office, I found a glass of wine, so he's going to take a sip. But when he looked in the mirror, he was startled. I saw a picture of the old captain.
He panicked and hurried away. Jin wakes up and meets Jack
He showed up in time.
and helped get you out of the pool. Neither of you noticed that. There's a red water It's leaking out of bullet holes in the wall. Just for a moment.
The whole pool is filled with that red liquid, in which floating bodies of those shot. Imogen and Jacqueline go to the laundry room. It's completely flooded.
But when you open the front door of the ship, immediately a large amount of water spilled out, with countless bodies soaked inside, based on decomposition. Can see
These people have only been dead for a month,
at the right time, the door that let them in was mysteriously closed.
forcing them to go deep into the chamber.
Meanwhile,
Green found a new used ashtray.
in the main hall, I saw lipstick marks on the ashtray,
He assumed it belonged to Imogen and left.
without realizing the ghost of the female CEO doctor,
Performed on the night of the massacre 45 years ago. Looking at me.
while trying to get out of the cabin. Jack comes across a beautiful antique car and is mesmerized.
As a child, I dreamed of owning one. Suddenly Jin saw something. Movement in a box. When she opened it, she discovered a slum, along with a large amount of gold. Determined to leave that place, and friendship as soon as possible,
They both left the gold and continued their search. Right after that,
Mujin heard his friend's voice calling for help over the radio, and going to the kitchen. When you get to the place where you go to check, you are startled.
when Muda and Doggy are hiding between the sheets,
They turned on their flashlights and screamed to scare. She discovered that her friends were making fun of her.
makes Mujin very angry. After gathering the whole team,
Hurry, please let everyone back to the cargo hold to collect 10.
the gold bars, the team found boxes full of gold,
And rejoice that these treasures are worth millions of dollars,
while the whole team rejoices.
because they think they've become rich. The moustache began to suspect again. You think that a cruise ship, carrying such a large amount of gold, it's unusual.
When discovered, all the marks on the gold bars have been erased.
I think the gold was stolen. That this ship is cursed. Follow your moustache as you search the main hall,
I heard a woman's voice.
but it's completely empty.
When I hear this, the rest of the members make fun of you.
And Captain Muffy insists that they did nothing wrong, because under maritime law, anything found in international waters, it all belongs to the person who discovered it. But Rhys still tried to convince me.
The crew brought the gold back to their ship and get out of here quickly.
While Santos was repairing the ship, the moustache restarts the engine. Muffy transport the gold bars by trolley with Mujin. That's when Katie showed up.
Scream, warning that they would be in danger if restarted.
The ship just finished, and she fell directly into the sea. I don't know what's going to happen.
Green pressed the start button and suddenly caused a big explosion.
Santos and Mother were thrown into the sea.
See your friends in danger. Jin jumped into the water to help.
She saved Mother and Rhea.
Santos was unfortunately killed.
Too miserable for losing you, Doggy attacked Jack. Blame him for bringing the team to this place. Now, the only way to survive is to repair the ship,
Antonia garaged, but Green opposes the plan
and suggested they build a raft to leave as soon as possible, but no one agrees.
The whole group started arguing.
Fought and even happened. I feel guilty for Santa's death.
Muffy grieving, quietly sitting in a corner. Blame yourself.
Because you're the one who ordered the engine to start. Meanwhile, for lack of food,
Doggy and Mudder decided to try their luck with the remaining food cans.
when trying Mudder Beans commented that they are delicious. So Doggy is also excited to eat Theo.
But only after a few spoons, they noticed the beans' taste began to change.
Look closely and they are horrified.
Found in the beans are full of insects crawling.
It's somewhere else.
Rhea is intoxicating herself to ease the pain.
Because you didn't call the Coast Guard when there's a chance.
I look at the picture of my Fiat.
I'll be back in time for the wedding.
At the same time, Jin goes down the hallway to find Katie
Suddenly, you see the doors closing.
and feel the panic. But she was distracted when she heard Katie singing gracefully in a nearby room. When I walked into the young woman's room,
Mujin discovered Katie's drawings.
glued on the closet door.
When she opened the door, I was horrified to see Katie's skeleton.
After calming down,
Mujin picked up the necklace on Katie's neck.
inside the pendant there is a photo of the girl's parents.
Suddenly, Katie's ghost appears. She revealed that I'm on my way to New York to meet my parents. Mujin tries to return the necklace to the girl.
But I didn't expect it to go through her hand.
Make Mujin get. I'm actually talking to a ghost. According to Katie, after her death,
Most souls will be reunited with their families, but the people who lost their lives on the Antonia, this garage is stuck. The young girl said, once this ship is full of souls and in sufficient numbers, they will all be sent to hell. Immediately, the room began to shake. The walls are covered in blood.
and Katie advised Jin.
Get off the ship while you have the chance. Katie disappeared at the same time. We drinks alone and starts hallucinating.
I saw the Sheik's banquet hall coming back.
The time of night dancing, 45 years ago.
Beautiful female CA singer Franchika appeared. She came up softly and kissed him on the cheek. I even invited you to dance with me.
Francesca is no longer alive and is an illusion. You tell yourself that. I will not betray my fiancé. And when Francesca tried to seduce me,
Ria did not hesitate to follow her.
when you tried to touch the sea, woman, I had the misfortune of being knocked down by her
Rope ladder, directly out of the earth on this side.
while taking a nap in Captain Muffy's Ruby and Beaton. Wake up to the sound of the bottle. In front of him was the former captain of Antonia Gara,
He gave him the log of the ship.
and revealed that the ship in the picture is called Lorzalai.
It's also the most famous ghost ship in history.
45 years ago, the captain discovered this ghost ship on that boat.
They don't see in Anna. I just saw a lot of gold. Because of greed,
The captain ordered.
put that gold on their boat. I can't believe that after stealing that gold.
Just 2 days later, the Antonia Gara suffered a massacre. I was horrified by this horrible story.
Muffy was about to tell the group about the ghost of Santas. People blame you. He trapped his soul on the ship. Because of your useless plan, Panic Muffy runs away and meets Mujin. But he's hallucinating. I think I'm dealing with Santas.
So frantically attacked the Mujin,
She defends herself by using a metal object. Hit Muffy in the head.
but it makes you angry. Take a gun to shoot you.
That's when Jack showed up and knocked out Muffy. After this incident, Mudder and Doggy decide to tie up Muffy.
To make sure you weren't in any danger that afternoon.
They're looking for Greed, but they can't find you. They think you're angry and want to be alone.
And continue to repair the ship without you. To the end of the day,
They've successfully removed most of the water from the ship. When it's dark,
Mujin started to worry and kept looking for Moustache. In the process, she met Katie, who led her to where the body was lying,
Katie touched the Mujin's shoulder.
and show you what happened the night the crew was killed. There's actually a big conspiracy going on. The cooks put rat poison in the soup to serve guests.
A steel wire used to cut the body in half. The people in the party room were lucky to escape. But she was caught and witness.
The entire crew was murdered by a group of criminals.
After killing hundreds of people to steal gold, a member of a group of traitors, shooting in the pool, killed them all to run away with Miss Francesca. But in the end, he was also betrayed by Francesca.
He was killed by a shot. Then the female CEO doctor's lover appeared.
He kissed her and killed her with a trap.
After losing,
The man's life was stamped on Francesca's hand. And then Jin saw his face. She realized that Jack was the one behind the plot.
45 years ago discovered the horrible truth. She hurried to find Muffy.
I found out you were murdered.
Jack opened the water valve to drown the Muffy.
It made you drown.
Jin tries to break the glass to save Muffy, but it's too late. After a few minutes of crying,
Calm down and run away. Message for two friends, the only one alive,
Mujin asked Doggy about Munda.
and said they needed to get off the ship immediately.
At the right time,
Jack shows up and says he saw Muffy dead. Then asked what happened. Mujin afraid. She replied that she didn't know how the accident happened.
she asked Doggy to stay in the cabin.
Give me a gun.
You're looking for Mudder. While diving, check.
See if there's any holes in the hull.
Mudder was washed away by the water, and his body was crushed by the cops.
In the engine room,
Jin came to look for his friend
she found that the water was red.
and see the Muda's body parts.
Trapped at the bottom.
Jack was going to find Mujin.
But Doggy asked him to wait until she came back. However, Jack ridiculed Doggy as a dog.
Just follow Mujin's orders. After saying that, Jack attacked Doggy.
Doggy shot Jack in the chest in self-defense.
When I thought I had just killed someone,
Doggy was afraid to run away in a panic. Jack woke up and chased him. When you see Mujin again,
Doggy found out she was planning to sink the ship.
and try to stop you,
But the strange and aggressive behavior of Doggy,
makes Mujin suspicious. She quickly realizes that Doggy has been murdered by Jack.
and the man you're dealing with is Jack in disguise. Jack admitted that.
Pure souls like Katie. They can't be marked by him, so he couldn't control her.
So she can show up in front of Mujin. Tell me everything that happened on the ship. Jack is the messenger of the devil. Help your boss.
To collect the souls of sinners.
So, he didn't stop dragging innocent people on board and mark the souls of sinners. Wait until you've gathered 1,000 souls.
He'll take the boat to the devil's place. Use it in exchange for an endless life.
Jack hopes that.
He can make a deal with Mujin. I let you live, but don't blow up this ship.
When I realized that Mujin wouldn't negotiate, Jack knocked her into the water with an iron rod, and then he jumps at Theo to kill Mujin. But you stabbed him in the foot with the tip of the javelin.
And escape the attack.
Then, instead of shooting Jack,
Mugen used a gun to detonate the bomb.
caused the whole ship bomb to explode. The ship began to sink, and all the souls that are trapped in it.
To be freed, while Ameo Jin is in danger, Katie appeared and led the way.
Help her get out of the rubble.
When it comes to the water,
She swims in the sea with the souls of the crew.
and watched them vanish right before my eyes.
After a few days drifting in the ocean,
They quickly found a ship to save lives. When she's lying on one of the gold boxes,
she was taken to shore and given medical attention upon arrival at the port.
you see a group of men loading boxes of gold on another ship.
That's when Jack showed up. Follow them to continue the mission.
10 souls brought to Earth.